Hey, boss, he ain't working.
Scam after scam after scam after scam. Fraud on top of fraud. It's unbelievable what's happening in Minnesota in real time. The scandals, the AG is coming out with a lawsuit for DHS. Typical deflection. Instead of addressing the protests, instead of allowing law enforcement to do their job and police in Minneapolis and across Minnesota assist federal agents in their duties, it's just complete chaos. Let's review.
Leaders, speaking of fraud, are holding a press conference on the future of DHS in that state. Let's listen.
Schools on our local law enforcement is a violation of the 10th Amendment and the sovereign laws and powers of the Constitution grants to states. We allege that DHS's use of excessive and lethal force, their warrantless, racist arrests, their targeting of our courts, our churches, houses of worship, and schools are a violation of the Administrative Procedures Act on arbitrary and capricious federal actions. And we ask that the courts will end the surge of thousands of DHS agents into Minnesota. We ask the courts to end the DHS unlawful behavior in our state, the intimidation, the threats, the violence. We ask the courts to end the tactics on our places of worship, our schools, our courts, our marketplaces, our hospitals, and even funeral homes. The deployment of...
It's crazy because if y'all would comply with the administration, they simply ask, let's pick them up in these jails. Most of the people that they're going after are criminals. If you was facilitate them picking them up at a precinct, a lot of this chaos wouldn't be happening. Along with if your police officers were able to assist, it would diffuse a whole lot of commotion that's going on. Because I'm for protesting. Protest. It's your right. However, so we don't get into the chaos that's been stewing and brewing and actually poured over into someone dying. If we had your police officers mediating between ICE conducting their investigations and protesters protesting appropriately and not impeding on law enforcement, you wouldn't even have these issues in to begin with. I think this is a farce. I think that they're just trying to move along as if we forgot about the fraud. Let's keep it going.
Of thousands of armed mass DHS agents to Minnesota has done our state serious harm. This is, in essence, a federal invasion of the Twin Cities and Minnesota, and it must stop. DHS agents have sown chaos and terror across the metropolitan area and in cities across the state of Minnesota. Schools have gone onto lockdown. Entire districts have had to cancel school for tens of thousands of students to ensure safety and offer online education because of the students and the parents' fear of coming into the school. Local businesses are struggling. Revenues are down. And some retail stores, daycares, and restaurants have actually closed because people are afraid to go out and to do their shopping, whether they're immigrants or whether they are citizens of many generations.
You sure it ain't because of fraud? This guy, same guy that was on tape talking to fraudsters. Yeah, he's probably going to get the axe next too. Let's keep it going.
This surge has made us less safe. Thousands of poorly trained, aggressive, and armed agents of the state, of the federal government have rolled into our communities, overwhelmed our local police departments, and law enforcement agencies should be focused on our public safety. But instead, many are dealing with the aftermath of DHS agents' chaos and violence. I want to thank our law enforcement officers for doing a tremendous job under very difficult circumstances. Not the people, but the federal government. Minneapolis police have had to respond to more than 20
You mean the Minneapolis police that y'all went from having 600 officers to now 300 because of y'all policies? I'm telling y'all, this is a farce. This is just these people are just bloviating in hypocrisy. It's crazy. Let's play something else. Let's play something else real quick. Hold on.
But first, I just want to get your general reaction to the filing of this lawsuit to stop DHS presence in Minnesota.
Well, I was sitting here just thinking about it, and they talk about violations of the 10th Amendment, but we're not asking, any government agency in Minnesota to do immigration law for us. So I don't see how that's an overreach. What we're doing is we're doing our lawful law enforcement mission that Congress has on the books. So to me, obviously now it's pending litigation. I'm not going to go too much in it, but there were a lot of allegations there. That's a lot to unpack. And, I was sitting here listening to this whole entire press conference. And, the one comment right off the bat that just strikes me is that, we don't show a warrant for arrest. Well, Title 8 under the Immigration Nationality Act, ICE doesn't need a warrant to make that arrest. So there's a lot that I don't think they understand about what ICE is doing, and the allegations are just really sad.
Well, let's talk about a few of those allegations, and you can help correct the record if they are false. Attorney General Ellison said that 93% of arrests in Minneapolis were of individuals who have no criminal record.
Yeah, so he said in 2025 that crazy number, but since the beginning of the Trump administration, ICE has arrested more than the most amount of criminal aliens that we've ever had, and 70% of them had pending criminal charges or criminal convictions. On top of that, they also had criminal histories in their home country or were wanted by their home country. So that number is just false.
Both Ellison and Fry said that you were arresting people based upon their skin color or whether or not they spoke with an accent.
That's 100% false. When ICE officers and ICE special agents are out there in the field, we conduct targeted enforcement, so we know exactly who we're going after. So that's completely false and baseless.
We're gonna speak the truth over here, and that's and see, I believe this is just a slap in the face of Minnesotans. This is nothing but propaganda and making this whole situation more politicized. And I look at it like this: the state is running rapid with fraud allegations, right? Why in the world would you go create a lawsuit? Why are you creating a lawsuit? It's nothing but a distraction. And another thing it is, you're using, y'all already got all this fraud. Now y'all already got all this fraud running rapid. Now you're just spending more tax dollars, more Minnesotan tax dollars on a lawsuit that's probably not going to go anywhere. It's just more money being taken away from Minnesotans. I think that the AG is full of crap. I think that Mayor Frey is full of crap. I think that Tim Walz is full of crap as well. This is nothing but show. And they're going to keep on. It's just another way to distract from what's really going on in Minnesota. But I hope this administration and I hope the American people keep our eyes and our ears alert, because we want to know what's really going on with this fraud. This your boy Mercy. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm out.